Welcome to Fox TV News, where everything is true. U.S. visitor killed, man injured during burial at St. Catherine Cemetery. A visitor from the United States was shot and another man injured while at a burial at the Meadows Memorial Gardens in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The dead woman has been identified as 57-year-old Turner Harmony from Brooklyn, New York. The injured man, who is 23-year-old, has been released from hospital. Information reaching reporters indicates that around 3 p.m., both persons were among patrons leaving a burial when they were pounced upon by a gunman. Police said the gunman opened fire at their motor vehicle before escaping. Harmon was shot in the head and upper body, while the man sustained injuries to his right hand. They were rushed to hospital, where Harmon was pronounced dead, but the man treated and released. No motive has been established for the attack, the police stated. Jamaica declares dengue outbreak. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has declared a dengue fever outbreak in Jamaica. In a release Saturday, the ministry said its National Surveillance Unit advised that the island has surpassed the dengue epidemic threshold for July and August and is on a trajectory to do the same for September. This means the country has seen an increase in the number of cases compared to what is normally seen during these months of the year, the ministry stated. As of Friday, September 23rd, the country had recorded 565 suspected, presumed and confirmed cases of dengue, the ministry stated. Of that number, 78 cases have been confirmed, with the majority of the cases in Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine and St. Thomas, according to the release. The ministry said the dominant strain has been dengue type 2, which is one of the deadliest, and has not been predominant in Jamaica since 2010. The strain, in addition to fever, can cause 2 or more other symptoms of typical dengue infection and can be fatal. However, there are no dengue-related deaths classified at this time, but 6 deaths are being investigated, the ministry said. Dengue is a mosquito-borne disease, which transmits the disease is epidemic to Jamaica. Dengue symptoms include fever, headache, muscle and joint pain, fatigue, nausea, and rash. In a small number of cases, the potentially deadly dengue virus may develop, resulting in internal bleeding, enlargement of the liver, and high fever. Jamaica last had a dengue outbreak in 2019. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett pushes for 500,000 Canadian visitors to Jamaica by 2025. In what has been described as an ambitious but achievable target, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is pushing for 500,000 Canadian visitors to Jamaica by 2025. Mr. Bartlett made the disclosure on Tuesday, September 19, ahead of his departure to Canada, where he is joined by senior tourism officials on a 5-day winter market in Blaze. The aim is to encourage critical travel partners in the Greater Toronto area. Mr. Bartlett explained that Canada is Jamaica's third largest market and was a little slow in recovering from COVID-19 pandemic.
We are now beyond the 300,000 mark and getting to where we were in 2010 when we had up to 400,000 visitors coming from Canada. We are giving new targets to Canada, and the team that came for JPEX last week showed the energy and indeed the kind of arrangements that are currently on the ground. That gives us a good sense, because everybody knows that my projections are driven by data and evidence, and I have evidence now that the Canadian market is ready to take us to 500,000 visitors by 2025. We had a strong Asian population in Canada, and we're going to make a decided effort to drive that market in a strong way. In the same way that the Afro-American market has been really energized and is driving new and exciting numbers for Jamaica. So we want to see the Asian component of the Canadian market strengthened. That will lay the groundwork also for our next incursion into Asia itself as a continent, where Canada would lead the way to, in fact, India and China.
We can supply you with more teachers, Cuba tells Jamaica. Cuba is prepared to supply more teachers to prop up the shortage of teachers in Jamaican classroom talent if the Ministry of Education needs, the socialist country's senior envoy in Kingston has said. Ambassador Sanchez told reporters in an interview last week that Cuba stands ready to assist Jamaica if or when the government requires that kind of service. The local education system has been in a roller coaster mode following the exit of over an estimated 1,000 teachers in the current academic year, most of them for lucrative jobs overseas, in particular the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the Middle East. The Ministry of Education has said that the situation is under control, although the reality is day after day, school officials have been reporting late resignations, which have affected the rhythmic functioning of the institutions. The ministry also said that several teachers who had before applied for extensive vacation leave, some of up to 8 months, had put that on hold in order to reduce the shortage in schools. Now, Mr. Sanchez noted that Cuba, which has over 100 teachers in the local system, can do much more to assist Jamaican cause. Of course, there is no limitation from Cuba's side about any requests that would be made by the Jamaican government and the Ministry of Education to continue supporting the education sector, the diplomat stated. There are possibilities to bring new teachers from Cuba, not only teachers of Spanish, because the great majority of teachers are teaching Spanish in Jamaican public schools, but there are possibilities for bringing more teachers in science, which is the other area where they are working in Jamaica now. Sanchez stated that his country, located north of Jamaica, would also be able to help to improve Jamaica's special needs capacity if required. There have been concerns that some schools at the primary and secondary level often fall short in handling children with special needs, even though, in terms of infrastructure, some progress has been made in the physical improvement of some institutions. We mentioned some time ago that Jamaican government of the possibility to extend the cooperation of the bilateral agreement to tackle some special needs of children with certain disabilities that need some kind of support, the ambassador continued. Cuba has been developing special needs skills over many years, and now we have teachers who are well prepared to work with children with special needs. Cuba is ready to participate in such a program if it is requested, of course, by the Jamaican government. Last week, the Education Ministry said in a statement that 1,155 teachers had joined the sector in time for the new school year. Minister Favor Williams was quoted in the statement as saying that with the sudden resignation of scores of teachers and the employment of new teachers at short notice, the ministry had to implement new mechanisms to ensure that new teachers are paid in this month, September. Under normal circumstances, for a teacher to be paid in a particular month, the employment documents must be submitted by the last working day of the previous month. For example, to be paid in September, all relevant employment documents must be submitted to the ministry by the last working day in the month of August. However, given that many of our new teachers were employed this month, September, the ministry extended the deadline for submission to September 12 and deployed the accounting staff to work overtime and on weekends to process the submissions. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification